Hello everybody, thank you for joining me. Today in 1859 Friedrich Schiller was born, a poet, playwright, author, but particularly known for his poem Ode to Joy. And best known in that poem because Beethoven wrote a musical accompaniment to it for the end of his Ninth Symphony. It was a poem written to celebrate the community of human beings, the brotherhood of man as he would have called it. Schiller wrote to celebrate our common humanity, and when Beethoven incorporated it into his symphony, it was because he sympathized with with that vision. But he thought it was a great poem. He said of it, it's one thing to write music for an ordinary piece of music, to an ordinary poem, but to write an accompaniment to a great poem, that's a much harder thing to do, and he, of course, has done it wonderfully. And so this wonderful piece of music has become an anthem whenever people wanted to celebrate freedom. It was sung by people protesting against Pinochet in Chile in the 1980s. It was sung or broadcast over loudspeakers in Tiananmen Square by protesters against Chinese authorities there. It was famously played by Leonard Bernstein, conducted by him on Christmas Day in 1989 to celebrate the fall of the Berlin Wall, and in 1985 it became the anthem of the European Union. Just the tune. It was thought that to have the German words as part of the anthem might emphasize linguistic differences rather than unity. And so it's become an anthem that's used to celebrate our common humanity. But you should probably know when Beethoven composed the music for the Ninth Symphony, he was already deaf. And though he insisted on being present at the first performance and stood on the side of the stage, gesticulating and moving his body, conducting, just in a sense, he could not hear the performance, and was not in tune. His beat was different from the beat of the orchestra. And when the orchestra had finished the piece, Beethoven went on hearing it in his head, but out of time with everyone else. And it struck me that that's a metaphor for really, as we come up to Remembrance Weekend, for the way we are in the world at the moment. We're deaf to each other. We are so easily led into conflict. In so many countries there is violence because people are just not listening to each other, and there is a sense that everyone is going according to their own timing. They're not in tune, not in time with each other, but each going their own way, as Beethoven went his own way, separate from the orchestra because of his deafness. And so I think this tune, not only as we listen to it today, celebrates the vision of our common humanity, but also reminds us of how far we need to go to lose our deafness and get in time with each other.